Well, you had cause to raise issues with the president's comments on this cleanup exercise. The president saw machetes, and he said he saw weapons. It was cautioning that they will not allow any troublemakers to get away with whatever they do in 2024. But you seem to have some reservations. Why?
Well, Senator, if you will permit me, maybe we should probably go through everything so that people, your listeners, may have a better understanding of what we are talking about. So there's a movement called Fix the Country. They had a demonstration complaining about the economic conditions of the country and the fact that they needed the government to be up and doing and fix the problems of the nation. So they embarked on a very massive demonstration, following which the MPP group also organized what they called a counter demonstration to the Fix the Country demonstration. And they decided that the former president, who is not in office, should be the recipient of their counter demonstration. And that they were going to go because he's now a private citizen. They were going to go to his residence to embark on a counter demonstration to the Fix the Country demonstration, and that their primary purpose for this counter demonstration at his residence was because of the Airbus saga. So the NDC youth wing begins to question why a man who is a private citizen's residence will become the venue of a counter demonstration, and that they did not understand. In truth, this generated a heated debate between supporters of the former president and the organizers of the counter demonstration, because they didn't see the wisdom in going to his home, the home of a private citizen, to go and demonstrate in response to a national demonstration. So the youth threatened, the NDC youth threatened, that if they are men, they should attempt to come to the private residence of the former president to demonstrate. It was around that time that I think during one of the radio interviews, one of the regional executives said, well, they are going to be embarking on a cleanup exercise anyway in front or within the presence of the former president, and that if the guys were men, they should attempt to come, but they will embark on a cleaning exercise. So it's important to also situate the whole context of the cleaning exercise. Okay, it was also in response to the counter demonstration at the private residence of the former president. Surprisingly, the police gives them, the demonstrators, permit to demonstrate at the home of a private citizen. And that agitates, and then the date was set, the date was changed, and that even agitated the NDC supporters even the more. Now, countdown to that event, national security now says, listen, we have looked at the situation and we advise the demonstrators that what they are about to do will set a bad precedent, okay? And that going to the private residence of a citizen is not the way to go. What does that mean? It means that national security agreed then at the final moment with the NDC supporters that you cannot come to the private residence of the former president to come and demonstrate. So therefore, they have found a way to convince the counter demonstrators that their conduct was unacceptable. In all of these, the police is still quiet because they gave the permit. So it means that there's a disagreement between the national security apparatus and the police, who gave permit for someone for the first time to go to somebody's home to stage a public demonstration. The date comes, and the NDC supporters, as promised, went to the former president's office to carry out what they called a cleanup exercise. In all honesty, I drove past there in the morning. If you listen to the debates and arguments and all the rhetoric that preceded the demonstration or to the date, I'm very clear in my mind that the cleanup exercise was organized as a deterrence to the counter demonstration in the former president's home. Let's not kid about that. All the comments that were made, even on that day, I wish that they never made those comments. But the cleanup exercise takes place. Immediately the cleanup exercise takes place, the president then speaks and says that he is appalled by the fact that people took cutlasses to the former president's home under the guise of a cleanup, and that he was not going to tolerate that, and that the people were wielding weapons, cutlasses and weapons. That is where I have my problem with. I have my problem with the president at two levels. One is the hypocrisy of the president. Because you remember in 2016, when NDC members were marching, they were going for some sort of a rally in the Nima area there. And the president said that while going, some supporters attempted to come through his house. And he was very enraged, issued a statement, sent petitions to most of the embassies, including the U.S. Embassy. The party issued all manner of statements, and the embassies began to condemn the NDC for allowing some of their supporters to even stray. In their case, they were not even demonstrating at the private residence of the opposition leader at the time. He says some people strayed, and for that reason, he was so incensed, and he did all those things, wrote petitions to all the embassies and other international organizations. So I find it.
I think that was 2020 rather, yes.
That was 2020, yeah. I find it shocking that he now did not find his voice when his supporters, deliberately, supporters of the government, members of his party, deliberately applied to demonstrate in the home, the private residence of the former president. He saw nothing wrong with it. I have a problem with the president when I have a problem with the police. When they give permission to demonstrators to go to the home of the former president, they saw nothing with it. The only person who saw something with it was the national security. Like I told you, I have no doubt that the NDC cleanup exercise was staged as a deterrence to the demonstration. And you see, it worked. It worked because national security took a cue that the way these guys have planned their cleanup exercise to coincide with the day of the demonstration, if something was not done to avert the situation, there could be a breach of the security. So you see that everybody kept quiet until the NDC youth staged this guys cleanup, and for that reason, all of a sudden, the National Security Office came out to now stop the demonstration.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you, the National Security Office is an agency under the office of the president. Okay? the national security themselves said the office, under the office of the president, disagreed with the demonstrators. Yet the president is out there condemning the people who were in their homes, saying that they were doing cleanup exercise. The other thing that I found contradicting is the president's use of the word weapons. As I said yesterday, weapons are things that are used only in conflict situations, and that anything can be called a weapon when it is used to cause harm or to defend oneself. There was no conflict on that day. People said they were doing cleanup exercise, and in fact, if you went there, they did some semblance of cleaning. So the president was wrong in saying that the youth had weapons, because the context within which he used the word weapons did not exist. There was no conflict. Nobody was harmed. Nobody used cutlass or cudgels or sticks to defend themselves in a conflict situation. That is why I say, as a lawyer, he was wrong.
Okay. Mr. Acher, unfortunately, we have to leave it here. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Raymond Acher'S is an international risk analyst speaking to us on that issue, taking us 41 minutes past 9. We have to switch and talk about health because one of our partners for the free health screening that we organize on Friday, 1st December, don't forget Friday, 1st December is Farmers' Day. It's a holiday. So we are saying that on Friday, 1st December, one of the things that you should think about is from between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., find time and pass by and be part of our free health screening. And we are doing this in collaboration with Banner Hospital and Third Eye Care and Vision Center. We're doing a couple of things. The services we'll be offering